I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Lend me your ear.
I'm all ears.
Listen well.
I have a word with I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
A-R.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
I have a word with I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
Listen well.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Lend me your ear.
I'm all ears.
I have a word with
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
You know what show is also gnarly? Is you ever watch Alone?
Alone, yeah.
That one's dope.
Yeah, I caught some episodes of that where they survive alone. And,
Yeah, they just go out there and fucking. It's basically like Last Man Standing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what do you call those video games?
The survive island ones.
yeah.
The zombie ones.
Well, like Fortnite, Call of Duty,
oh, yeah.
Battle Royale. It's like a Battle Royale,
yeah.
but to
Alone.
but to survive. It's, what were we talking about? We were talking about gnarly ass shows where people get fucked up. Alone is
I love that shit. I love seeing like
real life.
like what really happened. Like in if you got like stuck in the jungle or some shit and you had to survive. That shit is no joke. You know.
You know what
People
the
are-
craziest part is on Alone, they have to do all that shit and they're their own cameraman. So
Yeah.
before they get fucked up, they're like, all right, I'm about to go do this gnarly thing, but let me make sure I get the shot. Like, dude, it's bad enough doing a self tape. You ever have to do self tapes?
Nah, I don't.
No?
I mean, I've done interviews and stuff, but not like by myself.
Yeah.
It's
Dude, that's the worst part of doing any kind of a self tape audition is having to set it up for yourself.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just so stressful. Now I couldn't imagine doing that and being like, there's a fucking a yak over there, a moose that I got to go take down. Let me make sure I frame this shot right before I do that. Fuck that.
or bears. There's like some Alaska
Yeah.
episodes or some. Yeah, and that's crazy because
They're
by
in,
the time people
Canada.
get to you, it's game over. You know,
Yeah.
because you're really alone. Yeah, it's great.
Dude, there was one episode, one of the first seasons I watched was a dude actually took down a yak. I think it was a yak or a moose, and he had food for the whole time he was there.
I think I saw. I haven't seen.
It's like-
I
he's
caught,
like the most
last
famous guy on
I
that
caught,
show.
There's like 7 seasons now or something.
Yeah.
I've caught the last season. I didn't.
The one that's
start
on
from the
Netflix?
beginning. Yeah.
I think you got to get the History Channel to watch all the old ones.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking
there's
at
some old bangers.
Yeah. I was like interested in the show, but I just saw that it was just one season
On
or like
Netflix.
or 2 seasons. I think the last 2.
Yeah.
And the rest, I was like, I'm not gonna pay extras.
Dude, I remember watching one, and there was this like dorky older man, and I was like, "There's no fucking way that this guy's gonna win it." Like the first day, he's like slipping on moss and falling. I was like, "This, he's like a total beta." I was like, "There's no way this guy's gonna make it to the end."
Yeah.
He won. I bet my old roommate. I was like, "If he fucking wins, like I'll pay you this amount," and he took the bet, and that motherfucker won. It was like a surefire bet in the first few episodes, and he survived off eating like mollusks, like little snails that were living on the moss,
Yeah.
and he couldn't catch any food. That's why I was like, dude, he's going home. He couldn't catch a fish, couldn't get a squirrel or a bird, and this fool ate moss and slugs the whole time and survived.
Yeah, it's crazy what your body can like handle when you need it to, like, you know, like
Yeah.
in those situations.
They adapt.
Yeah, and then I always say like you never know until like you're in it, you know, like you could say I can survive or not, but once you're like in it, like that's when you don't know what'll come out of you, you know, like when you
Yeah.
need a like and you're in a like survival mode situation like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you don't know, man. Like
There was somebody, it was JT Parr. You know JT Parr?
Yeah.
He was doing a podcast in here a couple weeks ago, and he said a quote from a movie. I think it was Gattaca. You know what movie that is?
that's an old movie.
Yeah.
I don't like
And the quote was something like, he gets asked how he's like doing a race or something in the movie. I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
yeah, but a long time.
Okay,
ago,
so he's
long
like doing some kind of a race, and they asked him. Oh, and he's competing against like a robot or something who's perfect that he's not supposed to be able to beat.
Yeah.
I don't know this. I'm butchering this. I don't know the storyline of the fucking movie, but they asked him, "How did you beat the thing?" And he's like, "It's because I didn't save anything for the trip back."
Yeah, you just,
So that's that like survival instinct, going all the way, going as hard as you can right out of the gate.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit's crazy.
Cause I don't know. if
You got me high.
that one hit. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, you should have seen me. I hit a joint last night. It was one of those ones that was, it had keef on the outside.
Oh, yeah. If you don't smoke those,
Bro, I don't really smoke that much. I smoke like a little bit.
I don't really see you smoke a lot.
I smoke a little bit before I go to sleep, or to try and go to sleep. but I smoked that shit last night, and I was pacing, like back and forth, and my girlfriend knew. She was like, "You're fucking high, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I threw it on 80 for Brady.
Nice. Man, I wish I got high like that. I don't get high like that. And it's not because I've been smoking for a long time, like from the beginning. I think what it is like my metabolism is so fast that my body just like burns through the weed. So I don't get like, we just smoked and I already feel kind of like cool. Like I don't feel like I'm like.
I feel like this fan is on too high. I can feel the air around me too prolifically, and I get high. I get too high. Anyways, my guest today, we've been rolling the whole time. That's how I do it. Everybody always gets confused, but I like that. I like having to explain it. My guest today, you guys might have noticed, today's episode is BYOC. It's Bring Your Own Chair here on All Ears. My guest today is hilarious comic, artist, podcaster, the one and only Daniel Alvarez.
What's up?
How you doing, bud?
Doing good.
Good to have you. Thanks for coming in.
For sure, though. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I said, you brought your own chair today.
I did.
It's nice. We're talking about what bodies can endure, which is kind of a good way to lead this story in. You are, how do you describe yourself physically?
I have a T3, T4 complete spinal cord injury.
Shit.
Yeah. That's what I have.
Which one is that? That's the lower, right?
So our bodies have like basically 3 sections. We have like the C section, which is your neck, the thoracic, which is like your torso basically, and then your L's, like your lumbar, which is kind of like your hip area. So with a spinal cord injury, where you get injured, that's kind of where your limitations are. So me, I have a T3, T4, and what that means is it's at an angle. It's kind of weird. I could feel one nipple and I can't feel the other one.
Oh, really? You got numbness?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, well, it's not. It's like I just can't feel from like my injury down. So basically, from my chest down, can't feel or move. Yeah.
Right about your nipples?
Well, one, it's like I got shot. That's where when I'm in the chair. So where the bullet,
we'll get to the whole story of it.
Yeah, where the bullet hit me, it hit me kind of at an angle. So it like
the way it severed it at an angle.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that exact.
No, it was crazy. So the bullet hit my spinal cord and it split in 2 pieces, and then one piece kept going and it went through my lung, and then it kind of like circled around and it stopped right by my heart.
We'll get to that. You said I didn't know that it was that low for you. So it's your arms.
I'm like here, so from here down, I can't.
So if somebody like
feel.
tickled you on the sides,
Can't feel. Like my balance is messed up because you use all these muscles to balance yourself. So if I lean a little too forward, I can't hold myself. Like I'll just fall forward.
Yeah. Also, if you lean a little bit too far forward, we won't hear you. Watch the mic. I'm fucking with you.
Oh, is that sensitive?
Yeah.
Mine's are all okay.
Here, put this shit right in front of your, like the face of it, the front of it, right there. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't know that it was that low. Your what do you call it? Paralyzation?
Yeah, paralysis.
Paralysis?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of sympathy for people who have sleep paralysis? Or are you like, shut the fuck up?
I mean, it sounds scary. Like I've never experienced myself, but like, I mean, I can't feel or whatever, but I know I can still get up and all that. But so I wouldn't know what it'd be like. I guess you would have to talk to someone with a neck injury because some of those people can't move by themselves. So like they can give you
mean
more
like real straight up paralysis.
Straight
I
up
was talking about
paralysis.
sleep paralysis.
No, I know. But like so that the experience of sleep is like you see like some kind of like demon or ghost. That's what I've
Well, it's
heard
like
a lot.
that you're kind of awake, but your body's asleep. Your brain is awake, but your body's so it's kind of like a coma.
But a lot of those people say that they experience like some shadow man or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a really common. So
Isn't that kind of like the plot of that movie Insidious, a little bit?
yeah,
Something like
pretty
that.
much. It's close. It's similar.
Damn, you got me too high. All right, so let's go back to how this happened, when this happened, why this happened.
Right.
It was at a party, right?
Yeah, it was at a Halloween party
How long ago?
in 2007, October 20. Well, the party was on Saturday, but I got shot at like 2:30 a.m. So it was the 28th. So it was a
Sunday morning.
yeah.
Okay. Damn, 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you?
I was 21 at the time.
Oh fuck! And you are 37 now.
37 now. Yeah.
Damn, dude. Look at my math.
Hey,
Unreal.
on point. You know?
Dude, you get me a little bit of just a little high, and I turn into fucking Rain Man calculator. 2007. Where was this? What city?
In Northridge, of all cities.
Northridge, dude.
the most boring city in Southern
the
California.
safest place in the valley, dude. CSUN.
Yeah.
That's suburbia. Okay, and so yeah, describe the night. What was happening?
So this was MySpace days. It was like just a house party.
Mm-hmm.
So just random people showed up. It was like, and my sister invited me. It was like one of her friends' parties. And then like I want to first say that I would avoid parties in general, because anytime that I would go to a party, like somebody would have an issue with me. Like some guy always wanted to fight me anywhere I went. So I would like in general avoid parties for this reason.
Did you have the same demeanor when you were young as you do now?
Yeah, I'm like the most chill
Dude,
person
you're like
you'll ever meet.
You're the chillest guy I know.
Yeah, I've always been that way.
Do you think it's just your look?
I think it was more like, usually what would tend to happen is like if I would go to a party, like women would kind of like, what's up with this dude, you know?
Uh-huh.
And like,
There's some chicks are attracted to guys like you, like just the like carefree.
well, it was that, and like this was in 2007, so like the whole like I've been shaving my head like since I was like 16, so I like kind of look like a gang member a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't a gang member, but I had the look basically, and like especially back then.
Guilty by association, brother.
Kind of.
On two fronts that night, chicks and bullets were very attracted to you on this particular evening.
Just in general, man. Like I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and this is not an exaggeration. I've lost count how many times they've pulled out a gun on me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I literally like the first drive-by that I was living in Pasadena. I was like 7 years old. We were playing at a park, and this was when like gang activity was crazy in Los Angeles. We were just playing soccer, and then a car just passed by shooting with a Uzi. Like you could just hear the bullets hitting the grass all around us. Like it's crazy that nobody got hit. Like I just grew up around like.
What was the point of that?
That's how crazy it was. People were like, a year after that, actually a year before that, I was living in Compton, and there was drive-bys there like once a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like
Compton's nice now.
Yeah, it's
turned that
way
shit
different
around.
than it was in the 90s.
Yeah. My buddy Marcos lives out there.
Yeah.
So this party, it was your sister's friend's party, but it was like a MySpace blast.
Yeah, it
like,
was just
party at this address tonight. Feel free to come through. Anybody.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I
Bring your own
remember
beer, that type thing. And it was cool, man. Like we were there, like the whole night. Nobody was like looking at me. It was cool. It was like one of the dopest parties that I had, like just that I had enjoyed. And then two of my sisters were there, so it was cool, man. Like the last song that I danced was "Crank That" by Soulja Boy. And dude, the whole party was doing the Crank That, bro. We were all in there, you know, like it was dope. And then right before 2 a.m., we had taken beer, and we had run out of beer already. So we were like, all right, let's try to find a store and let's go try to get more beer.
Yeah.
And this was in 2007, so you couldn't just pull out your phone and like, you know, put it GPS it.
Right.
Yeah. So like I said, we were in Northridge, and none of us were familiar with Northridge like that, you know.
What city did you grow up in?
All the poor cities in LA.
Well, you said Pasadena.
I've lived in I've moved like 30
nice.
times in my life. So I've lived in literally almost every, like Compton, Inglewood, West LA, Pasadena, Maywood, Bell, La Puente.
Damn.
Like I can name more. Like a lot of cities around LA. But mainly the main portions was like Pasadena for like 4 or 5 years, and then West LA for 4 or 5 years, and
Like Culver?
I live right by Culver City
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Nice.
So I've lived in all the cities.
Yeah,
around
yeah.
LA, basically. And what were we?
You were talking about you guys were looking for beer.
Oh, right. So
Look, I wanted to ask, like, who was at this party? Like, was it mostly people you knew?
nah, the only
You
people I
were
knew
just
was
like-
my two sisters and their boyfriends at the time. And then, we were with like 10 people. We were like 2 cars deep. We were like 10 people total. But it was all like my sister's friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my sister.
But you guys were kind of the outsiders.
Basically, kind of, because like I said, it was just random people. Like
Right.
everybody was an outsider. Basically, it was just like a few people that were like the people that knew the actual people. But in general, it was just like I would say 50% of the people were just like random people.
I remember at my high school, like we would have like, it was mostly like people who went to the same school would be at like all the same parties.
Yeah.
And then you would have a couple people, like little pockets of like the other high school. Like I went to Quartz Hill. Every now and again, you would get a couple people from Highland or Lancaster, and then sometimes we would pop into their parties. And that's when it was like the outsiders. It was really like just like an all stranger.
Yeah. Well, when you're younger too, like your circle is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So like when you're in school, you're only inviting a certain.
Yeah.
Like your school, basically.
Yeah.
Like, was there ever beefs at those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
saying. There was always beef with the other school.
Never with me. I was 4'2", but also just like super cynical and would kind of like make fun of people. I bet you a bunch of people wanted to beat the shit out of me, but I was so small. It was like, what a waste.
Well, yeah, because if you ended up winning.
Yeah, that's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
You know, they beat me up. They look like an asshole. They lose.
Yeah.
They look even worse.
Yeah, same situation. I want to square up with people sometimes. They're like,
And they won't. I saw a wheelchair fight the other day. I think it was like an MMA match of just people in wheelchairs.
Oh, I've seen
You
those
seen
where
that
they
shit?
type. Have you seen? Yeah, I've
They
seen some
tie
where they
them
time
down.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be down to do that.
You should.
I'll be down to throw some hands.
Should do it at Third Wheel. But so let's talk about the party.
Yeah. So, we went to get beer, and then we were like
So you guys
driving
found
around.
a spot.
No, we didn't. We were just driving around to a few spots, and we went to a few 7-Elevens, and they weren't selling alcohol.
Because it was past 2?
No, some of them don't sell alcohol, and
Oh.
some do and some don't. And we just hit ones that so we wasted like 10, 15 minutes. And then another thing that happened, we were with 4 people in the car when we went to go get beer, and one of them, he was over 18, but he looked really young. He looked under 18. So he went to the 7-Eleven, and then he tried to buy cigarettes, and then they were like, "Nah, we can't sell you. You don't look." He didn't have his ID, and so they were like, "We can't sell you because you look." So he came back, and then the driver of the car went with him and tried to buy him, but then because they were together, he was like, "Nah, you just," he didn't believe that we were together or whatever.
Yeah, dude, I tried to buy lotto tickets like that when I turned 18 with the chick. It was my girlfriend at the time. It was like high school, who was 17, and they won't do it. It's called a two-handed transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it 21 for lotto?
California is 18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, so we killed like 10
Unless they
minutes
changed
there.
it. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I think they might have.
It's
It
18,
might have gone
or it was
to
18
21.
back then.
Yeah. Like cigarettes was 18 back then too. Now
Wait,
it's
is it 21?
Yeah,
Since when?
it's a few years I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you're fucking old. I don't pay attention. You're cool. Like, I don't want to say hip, but
I mean, most of the people, a lot of the people who were around are kind of young,
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the scene.
um,
So we kill like 10, 15 minutes looking for beer. We don't find it. We go back to the party, and then when we got there, we parked. Like he parked the car on the wrong side of the street, so the car was like facing the wrong way.
so like facing the nose to nose, like with
Yeah.
another car.
Yeah. And then we went to go get my sisters and the other people that we were with. And then when we got back, we were kind of like blocked in. Other cars had gone there, so we were kind of like blocked in. So we were in the car and we were just waiting. We waited maybe like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And then the driver of the car that I was in burned rubber. He like power braked the car. And then one of the cars that was blocking us, I think it was a black Escalade.
Okay.
And one of the passenger in that car jumped out and he started saying something. I couldn't really hear. And then I was kind of fucked up. So I didn't hear, but I was like,
You were
man,
drunk.
fuck you. I said something like, fuck you or
Yeah.
fuck that. And then the driver of my car got out and they started fighting.
Fighting.
I was like, fuck. Mind you, 2 of my sisters were there. So I was like, fuck. So I was like, God, I don't want to. But so
Is this a Mexican dude?
yeah.
Mexican
It
dude?
was. I don't know if he was Mexican, but he was
Latino.
Latino. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was for sure Latino. And they kind of looked like gang members. Like they,
Right.
like yeah. So they started fighting, and then we were in like a 1996 Chevy Impala. I don't know those round ones,
yeah.
big ones. So I was in the back seat, and then I was trying to get out, and I couldn't get out. Like the door got stuck. So I was in there for maybe like 30 seconds trying to get out. And then when I finally like got out, I was stepping out, and somebody pistol whipped me. They hit me with a gun. I mean, I didn't know it was a gun at the time, but they hit me. And then I guess it blacked me out because I don't remember getting hit, but that's what people
So
told
he
me
was
after that.
behind you?
No, I was I don't know where he was exactly.
But as soon as you stepped out of the car
he
door,
just
bah.
cracked me. And then like it was 3 times. Like he hit me and I guess I fell and he hit me like 2 more times because it cut me. I had like cuts from it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so
what? You're like face down.
like I don't know like specific because like, I think it blacked me out for a little bit because I don't know how I fell. He just like hit me and I guess that first one was so he hit me 3 times and then once the other people that we were with realized that there was something going down with us, they all ran back. They all came back and they so he pistol whipped me and then like I guess him and like two or three other dudes were like jumping me basically.
Fuck.
Like they just piled out this car.
What happened with your sister's boyfriends and shit?
He was still fighting the dude.
So that was one, but how many other dudes did you guys have with you? Just one other?
Nah, we were with like 4 or 5 dudes. They all came and everybody started fighting basically. So they got everybody away from me and then I stood up and then my head felt cold. So I touched my head and then my hand was just full of blood. Just covered in blood.
Yeah.
And then I just got mad. Like I think that's as mad as I've ever been in my entire life. Like I was like, now somebody's gonna get fucked up. And then I used to like I've always been a chill dude, but I grew up fighting people. And then I was like I was starting to get into like MMA and I already had been boxing before. So I could fight, So I was like someone's gonna get it now.
You have your arms all karate'd out like that too?
Yeah, we ready, So I got up and then I started looking. And so like everybody was fighting. All the dudes that we were with were fighting. So I was like the first dude that wasn't with us, I just walked up to him and hit him. And I hit him and then he fell. I hit him in the street and we fell on the sidewalk and I fell mounted on top of him. Mm-hmm. And I was just fucking this guy up, just hitting him. Like I was mad, And then like I was like when they say you see red?
Yeah.
I was seeing red, bro.
Yeah. It's a surprise that you can remember it.
Yeah, like well,
you know how they say like you kind of black out when you get
well that's the thing. So I know the story through a few people's eyes.
All right.
So I was hitting this dude, and then so I started hearing stop, you're gonna kill him. Stop, he has a gun, and it was my older sister. And then like I never saw the gun. Like like when you fight, things happen so quick. So like I literally never saw the gun, but this dude was already out. So I was like, damn. So I reacted to her saying that, and I stood up, and then I just looked down, and then my shirt was all full of blood.
Your blood or his?
Mine. I think it was mine. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I made him bleed.
Okay.
Like I can't remember him bleeding. So like I looked down, covered in blood, and then I'm like, damn, we need to get out of here, So I just left that dude there, and then I went to go find her boyfriend, the driver of the car. And it took me a minute because when all that started happening, like people started coming out of the party.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of people. So it took me a while to find them. It took me like a minute or two maybe. So I find them and then we start walking back. And then like, I'm not 100% sure if it was the dude that I had laid out, but I'm pretty sure it was. So I don't know if I just hit him so fast that he didn't have time to react with the gun or it wasn't loaded. But in the time it took me to go find the driver, someone had jumped into that Escalade and we were crossing the street and then they threw that shit in reverse and first they tried to run us over.
But so they were leaving though.
No. I don't know if it was the dude that I laid out. He just put it in reverse to like
to lock you guys in.
Yeah, to like try to run us over. Yeah. So we kind of like ran out the way and then we like headed toward the car again and that's when he jumped out with the gun. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if like I just laid him out so fast that he didn't have time to react with it.
But it was that same dude.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like
you're pretty sure.
80% sure that it was the same dude. So he jumps out and then he just like the bullet hit me from behind. So the first shot he shot and the first one hit me and that's what paralyzed me. Like I just fell and then I couldn't feel anything and then he still shot at me 2 more times. And like he was like maybe like 6-7 feet away from me. So I was like, how did you not get me again?
It was just the one that hit you?
Yeah, just the first one. The first one got me. Yeah. And it was like they don't know if it was a 22 or a 25. They know it was a small bullet. So yeah, it like paralyzed me. I fell. And then it's crazy because if he hadn't paralyzed me, I think he would have killed me.
Yeah.
Because I would have, like, my first instinct was to, like, go straight toward him. Like, I was like, now this motherfucker really gonna get it, you know? But then I just couldn't get up anymore.
Holy shit! But
So-
you were still conscious. Like it.
Yeah,
hit
yeah, I
you-
never passed out.
It hit you and you went down,
down,
right away.
yeah, I was
so
like,
as
oh,
soon
shit.
as it hit you, your legs gave out
Instantly. Fell. Floor.
and you were numb.
Yeah. Like,
What does that feel like?
the best way I could describe it, especially at that first was like, it just felt like I had a lot of weight on me. Like something was just kind of holding me down. Cause I went to get up. So like if he hadn't paralyzed me, I would have turned around and walked straight into 2 more bullets.
But your arms and
No,
your
I could still feel
chest
my arms.
were fine,
Yeah, yeah.
like fully functional.
Yeah. I was like, damn, like
My
I like
God, that plus adrenaline probably.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it was like instant, like, and it was a complete injury. So like it paralyzed me like instantly. Like I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anything.
And how were your lungs? Because you said your lungs got punctured.
Yeah,
Were you
so,
having trouble breathing?
No. But I never panicked. Like I was like, it's almost like looking back on it, I was like, it's kind of like I didn't even cry. Well, I almost started to cry, and it was because my sister. Cause so when he shot me, my sister saw him shoot me. Like she was
my
saying
God.
no when he rang off the first shot. So she saw everything. So she like, and then her boyfriend, the driver, tackled this dude. Like tackled him, took the gun away from him, and like pulled the trigger on, but like he had emptied that shit
Oh
on me
my
already.
God!
Yeah. So he's fighting this dude, and then I'm like, damn, like I think, like I wasn't 100%, but I was like, I think he shot me.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't feel anything, and then I couldn't get up.
What do you like? Are you scared at that moment?
Yeah,
Is it-
like you know how they say like your life flashes before your
Yeah.
eyes, bro. Yeah, I had that experience. But it was weird because it was all like the dumb shit that I did in my life, bro. Like all the like dumb shit that I had ever done. So
you had,
yeah,
you had your life flash before your eyes, but it was
But
your
it was all-
most pointless moment.
yes, bro. Literally,
Like what? What were some of the things?
just like some of the dumbest shit that I've done, like like dumb shit, you know, like when you do stupid shit that doesn't make sense, like
hanging with your boys, playing video games.
not like coming up on shit and like
Stealing shit?
yeah, like doing shit like fucked up shit, you know, like
So was it? You think it was like all your worst moments of your life?
I mean, it wasn't just like stealing, but it was just like shit, like mean shit that I had said to people, like just all that shit. It was weird.
Wow. So when your life flashes before your eyes, it's like negative.
At least for me, it was.
Damn.
And then cause I was like, so I thought I was gonna die, right? So my sister was kind of like holding me in her arms, and then like that, I had that fucking moment. So I told her like, yo, if I die, tell everybody I'm sorry for all the dumb shit that I did, like, cause yeah. And then she was,
was
like,
that
no,
your
no.
exact words?
Yeah, literally, I said
If
that.
I die, tell everyone
Everybody, I'm sorry for all the dumb shit that I did. That's what I said. Yeah. And then my sister was like, no.
dumb shit I did.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
it was
that's
just-
so
I was
funny.
Like, why? Like, yeah. I've done some, you know, like I made like a lot of like dumb decisions over like like just dumb shit, bro. Like, so I had that moment, and then my sister was like, no. So that I was gonna like, you know, that made me emotional. But then I was like, yo, just get me to the hospital, yo. So
what happened to the guy though? Your sister's boyfriend tackled him.
Right, and they're fighting. So once we were like, all right, yo, I'm shot. Like I can't feel my legs. Let's just get to the hospital. He just left them. He picked me up, threw me in the car, and we just took off. Like we just took off to the hospital. And the driver was in the backseat with me. My sister was in the passenger seat, and then his friend was also in the car with us. And he was just taking red lights, like trying to get to a hospital. And then I was just chill, man. Like I was just like, just get me to the hospital. And he was like, they were like, check me to see if I got shot, you know. And I was like, bro, I can't feel my leg. I'm shot. And then like he picked up my shirt and he checked and he found my bullet hole. And then another thing that I should mention, I always kind of knew I was gonna get shot. Like I verbalized that years before I got shot. Like some of my ex-girlfriends, because just for the same thing, like I would go to parties just from experiencing growing up here. I always just had a feeling. So I think that kind of was like it was almost like I was ready for it.
Was it reassuring? Like, all right, now I got it over with? Were you like that sure that it was going to happen, that it was like, All right, well, we got it out of the way.
Not in that sense, but I was like, God, I didn't know it was gonna fuck me up this much. You know?
Damn. What did you think it was just gonna like hit meat?
Yeah. No. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it specifically, but I was like, yeah, like hopefully I survive.
Crazy when I think about people getting shot, my first thought is always organs.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I think
blood
people
loss.
rarely think about blood loss too. I think people rarely think about bones.
Yeah.
All the damage that it does to your skeleton, obviously, which
Yeah.
so car ride there.
Yeah. And then another thing too is like my two closest cousins, they both taken bullets too.
Shit.
So and I now, like I said, I was born and raised in LA. I grew up around gang violence. Like I wasn't in a gang, but I grew up around it.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew, I know what was up. And I had been to like parties where like they shot into the party. Like I said, I lost count how many times someone was like, "Yo,
shot
where
it
you
at the
from?"
playground.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
yeah. So
So you just so
I
you
just always
had
kind of
this
knew,
this premonition.
kind of.
It was like a prophecy. Like, dude,
You know what's crazy? That I've done that on multiple occasions and it's all come true.
what else?
What else? Like when I was a kid, I would always, my parents split up when I was like 6, and then I have all sisters, so I was always around women, and whenever I would get in trouble with my mom, I'd be like, one day my dad's gonna come and he's gonna be like, let's go, and that shit happened. Like one day he just showed up and we dipped out,
So you were a ward of your mom, like she had full custody.
Bro, we're Mexican. We didn't deal with the court system. We just, Pops was just like, who wants to go with me? And I was like, run it,
Oh shit, he just showed up randomly one day.
One day.
Was he in your guys' lives?
So when they split up, he kind of like disappeared for a few years and kind of like, I guess, kind of like got his life together in a way. Cause he had like, he was like alcoholism and like gambling. He was like into gambling and like drinking a lot. And so he
Joe
kind of
Maserani, huh? Your dad's just like Joe Maserani.
fucking Joe. Yeah. So he kind of like went off and like kind of like reset his life in a way.
Yeah.
And then he just showed up one day, man. Like they split up when I was like 5 or 6, and then he just showed up when I was like 10 or 11.
And you hadn't seen him since they split?
Here and there, like once in a while,
Alright.
I would see him for like a day or something.
Yeah.
But so he just showed up and I did like stuff like that, little things like that where
So what, you didn't get along with your mom growing up?
yeah, we did. Like I was really close to my mom, but I was her only son. Like I'm like to this day, she still sees me as her baby, you know?
So what, but why were you like, one of these days my dad's going to show up and...
Because I always felt like I didn't fit in. Like I
Okay.
always felt out of place. Because
Because it's all family of all girls?
yeah.
Gotcha.
And like they'd go out and like they'll be like, tell me like 10 minutes before we're going somewhere, you better get ready, So I was
Dude, were you the youngest?
second oldest.
Okay. That's how it was for me. I was the youngest. And like you literally, I mean, my dad was there, so it wasn't as bad, but like I had a lot of cousins who were girls, 2 older sisters. I have 2 cousins who were boys, and they're both younger than me, but I didn't see them as often. I had one cousin who was basically like a sister to me. So basically I grew up with like 3 or 4 sisters,
Right.
plus my mom, plus all my aunts. So 100%, like you do get cast out.
Yeah.
You're left out of all the info. When my sister got fucking pregnant, I was the last one to find out. My younger cousins who were girls, girls, found out before me. I was like, what the fuck is this shit, dude?
Bro, that shit still happens to this day.
It's
They're like, oh,
fucked
we're
up.
doing something. Yeah, and I'm like,
I had to
whatever.
make it apparent to my mom and my sisters, like, stop leaving me out of shit.
Yeah,
I want to
see,
be
never-
the first or second one to know from now on, or you guys can say goodbye to me.
No, I still to this day have that. Like I'm getting better at talking, but especially when I was younger, I was really quiet. Like, cause I was always getting in trouble. Like I was like a active kid, so I was always getting in trouble. So I would always get negative attention, and that's all the attention I would get. So I was like, yo, I'm just shut the fuck up and chill in the corner and not say a goddamn thing, So I was like, I basically conditioned myself to like just be quiet and not say anything.
Yeah.
So I was really bad at communicating stuff. So yeah, that's a random example, but I would predict little shit in my life. So I think that's why I stayed so calm, because they did tell me the bullet went straight through my lung, so blood was going into my lung.
Could you feel that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, because it's below the
It's below.
wound
Yeah,
level.
yeah. So I get to the hospital, and then once I got to the hospital, it was like a scene in the movie. The last thing I remember, it was funny. They took me out of the car, and he tried to stand me up, and then my pants fell down.
No way. Did your dick come out?
Nah, I had boxers. So
Boxers?
yeah. So he pulled my pants up, and then he just basically carried me into the hospital. And then once I was in the hospital,
And you're conscious.
I'm conscious the whole time. Once I got to the hospital, the last thing I remember was like they laid me down on like the gurney or whatever, and then they just took me down the hallway. So I just saw like the lights flashing like in the movie.
Just like in a movie.
Just like in the movie. Like that's the last thing I remember. And then I think they took me into like an MRI machine, and they threw me into that to see
Yeah, what
the
it was
damage.
Wait, that's a terrible idea. It couldn't have been
'cause
MRI.
No, yeah. It's magnets that you need to avoid.
That's
Like,
what an MRI is.
no, but like they say, like stuff that has magnets. Like you could have a little bit of metal stuff. And
Oh,
like
okay.
it's not. It doesn't fucking come out.
Oh,
of you,
it's
like,
magnets that you can't.
Yeah, like
Okay.
anything that's kind of like magnetized,
Oh,
it'll
gotcha.
reverse the.
Yeah, because if it was something that was inside you that was magnetized a little bit, it could.
It could just rip it. Yeah,
right out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so they throw you in there, and
And then I passed out. Right, that's the last thing I see is like the lights, and then I'm out.
what made you pass out? Blood loss?
Well, blood loss, I think. Yeah. Because I was bleeding from my head, from the bullet
Oh,
hole
shit.
inside my lung. Like, yeah, like blood was like going into my lung.
Yeah.
So I passed out. I was all right. I'm safe.
And what? I mean, are you struggling to breathe at that point?
Nah, no. And they told me after the fact that some people they get the coughs. They call it the coughs and if you start coughing or if you start panicking, you start like hyperventilating. And more blood rushes
Yeah.
in, so that I think
What
that's
was
what
it?
saved
Was it
me.
a sucking chest wound? Isn't that what they call it?
I don't remember them saying
Labeling
what it
it?
was specifically, but so yeah, I woke up and I had like tubes. They had put tubes into my lungs, so drain the blood out.
Right.
And then I woke up, and then it's funny. The first thing I hear is one of my cousins talking to the doctor. He was like, so he can't have sex no more. And then the doctor was like, I don't know, nah. And that's what I woke up to, and I was like, what the fuck? I remember
That was
thinking
your
like,
first thing that you woke up.
that's
to.
what I woke up hearing. Yeah.
And
yeah.
how long had you been out for?
Just a few hours.
Okay, so it was still Sunday.
Yeah, it was still Sunday. So I
That's
was like,
funny.
what the fuck?
Your cousin's got your back like that.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, fuck. I mean, because he been around me.
Yeah.
He's seen the game. So he like, no damn, what the fuck. So that's what I woke up to, and then the doctor, once I woke up, he was like, can you move your big toe? And I tried and I couldn't, and then he was just like, you're gonna be paralyzed for the rest of your life,
It's that quick?
just like that, bro. They don't bullshit with you. They're not. And I was like,
Damn.
and then I mean, I was still naive to my injury, so I was like, bro, you don't know me, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I'm. Wait a minute.
Did they do any kind of a surgery on you to like try and repair the nerves or any like?
Nah,
There's nothing they can do to put it back together.
not yet.
I mean, but even in the moment, that night,
Nope. I didn't have the only surgery I had. So they put those tubes in my lungs because blood was going in, and then they took them out too early, so they had to put 2 more,
oh shit.
and then they took those out too early, and then so
So you were still bleeding in there.
I was still yeah. So what like the third day or the third or fourth day, I think the third or the fourth day that I was in the hospital, they had just taken out the tubes, and I went to sleep, and then when I woke up, my dad and my sister were walking into my room, and I started drowning on my blood, like I couldn't get air, cause blood had been going into my lung. So that's the only surgery I had was that they took me into emergency surgery after that, and they just removed a piece of my lung.
Was it something like that? Seeing your dad and your sister like spiked your heart rate or something?
It might have been because I was like calm, but like
And then all of a
when
sudden
they were
you just
walking
started
in,
drowning.
and I think I might have tried to say something maybe, and then like I couldn't breathe. Like it was so hard to suck in air, and like it literally felt like I was drowning.
Like you were underwater.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like, and then I couldn't talk.
And you couldn't feel like the pooling of the blood
Nah,
because
because like
you couldn't feel anything.
yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. So I start drowning on my. I'm like, and I can't talk. So I like, bro. One of the most fucked up things was like seeing their face.
Seeing their reaction
to me. That was crazy. I think that was like the most scariest part of everything. Just seeing just like the panic in their eyes.
I want to talk about that doctor again though real quick. So like the first you wake up You hear your cousin being like, yo, he's not going to fuck anymore. And the doctor's like, straight up,
Yep. Yeah.
never again.
Yep.
And then all they do is a big toe test.
Basically, yeah. I mean, because they already they've seen the
seen it
MRI,
all.
they've seen the damage.
And you think that it might just be more for like a little bit of self-realization, because they can probably already tell you like it's done.
Yeah.
But they do that for like just a little bit of comfort, like, and you know, to give you like a little bit of belief in what they're trying to tell you. Like, can you wiggle your big toe?
Maybe there could be a
It's
chance
like
that that's why they're
comforting,
kinda-
you know. I mean, obviously it's not comforting, but
Mhm.
to come to terms with shit, you
Right,
know what
right.
I mean? So they ask you, can you do this? And you go, no, I can't. And then they drop a bomb on you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no easy way to give somebody news like that, you know. So they just might as well just get, and then they don't
Yeah.
want to attach emotions to it. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So they just like tell you straight out, you know. Like obviously my whole family knows already.
Yeah, your cousin obviously knew.
Yeah.
That's just ripping a Band-Aid off.
Yeah, this shit was funny that I woke up to that. Like, yeah, no more sex. What you mean?
That is like,
But that's as guys, you know.
yeah. I mean, if it wasn't your cousin, like one of your friends would have
Yeah,
done
would
it.
have
or
done it.
something.
Yeah.
So waking up,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first thing the doctor tells you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like, hey Daniel, do you remember what happened? None of that shit.
Nope.
What does that feel like?
Honestly, I don't remember feeling like any emotions about it, because in my head I was like, yeah, you don't know me, like,
Yeah.
because I was thinking Bruce Lee, mind over matter. I just need to concentrate hard enough, you know, and so that's what I was thinking. So I was like, man, chill out with that, you know. So it didn't. I think I would say that I really realized it was like, all right, this is what it's gonna be like a month after, or like. Yeah, like a month after, when I went to rehab, to like a rehab center that rehabs spinal cord injuries. And they gave me a big ass folder of like everything about my injury. And once I started reading that, that's when I really
started to
realized.
set
I
in,
was
like-
okay, this ain't no joke.
And that's a month.
Yeah, because I was in the hospital for a month.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
What is that like?
Sucks. Like
And what hospital were you at?
at Valley Presbyterian.
Okay. So, I mean, what is your day-to-day life, and like, how do you acclimate to, like, I mean, you're one day a 21-year-old kid who just goes to a party, and next thing you know, you're in a hospital for a month without the use of your legs.
So I've always been a clown. So I was just joking around with everybody, like, because like I said, I didn't fully grasp the severity of my injury until I read. So I was still kind of like, I'll be good, like, you know, like, so I had that through the whole. I was like, just give me a little bit of time, you know.
Yeah.
And then I had read too that when you sustain a spinal cord injury, your body, like the first 2 years, there's like, that's like kind of like the recovery time. Like whatever you get in the first 2 years, that's where you're gonna be at. So I was still like, maybe I'll.
Maybe there's a shot.
Mm.
I mean, you see a lot of people who recover from shit who are told that they're never going to walk again.
Yeah. Our bodies are crazy. One of my cousins that got shot, he got shot 3 times with a 45.
Oh.
And they told him he was never going to walk again. And he started feeling again like a month after his injury.
Uh-huh.
So I had that information too. So I
So
was
you
like,
thought you were taking that same path.
Yeah.
Boy, were you wrong.
Oh, I was. Yeah, so in the hospital, man, like the nurses loved me, bro, because I was
Yeah?
just joking around.
Still
Normally,
had it.
they talk to me a lot. So, like, some of the things that they would tell me were like, you know, people are usually, when a young person your age sustains some kind of injury, like they like ball up. Like they just
Yeah.
either like shut down or they just rage. They're just like angry, you know, they just
Yeah.
angry. They just like fuck everybody, fuck everything. And I was out here joking with like, you know, with the nurses and like just being funny, bro. Like,
Yeah. I've had a friend on here who, you might know him, and nothing against it, but he lost his fingers, and he went through that.
Really?
That hard, like, he was like, you feel like a worthless because you lose this part of your body. It affects you.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I think it's kind of some white people shit though. You know what I mean? Like, dude, a Mexican dude, you can't make a Mexican fool not clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, our parents are the original bullies, bro. Like, it's how those jokes, how they say, like, if one thing that you do when you're young and that's your nickname, you know, like,
Yep.
if you get fucking head lice and they have to shave your head, you're piojos for the rest of your life.
My
you
cousin
know?
was Chongo growing up
Yeah, like all that.
because he used to walk on all fours like a gorilla. I was Güero because obvious,
Yeah.
you know.
This pinche gringo.
My sister, they called her Bug, not in Spanish, just Bug, because she ate a bug when
Oh,
she was
really?
little. Yeah, but
Yeah,
they said it
yeah.
in English. What's the Spanish word for bug?
S- what is the Spanish word for bug? I don't know. Animalito.
What is that?
Insecto.
Oh, there you go.
Insecto.
Yeah,
But bug is specific though.
but an insect is the same
Insecto,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Anyway, but yeah, that's. I mean, so what is it like for you for that month? You're clowning around.
So I have like
Do you get to know anybody else like in the ward? Do you become close with anybody?
Nah, because Valley Presbyterian specializes in maternity. So all they have there is like ladies giving
You and
birth.
pregnant chicks.
Yeah,
Why'd
Like-
they keep you there and not transfer you to
Because-
like?
because that was the first hospital. They should have taken me to General. General is like the second best trauma hospital in the country, I think. Like General Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because they deal with gunshots and shit all the time.
Right.
So that's a kind of like one thing I kind of had in the back of my mind for a while. I was like, I wonder if anything would have been different if they would have taken me to.
If they would have taken you there, could they have done something different?
Would have they have like done something different?
Yeah.
Yeah, I for sure had that.
Do you still feel that way?
Nah.
Do you feel that way about anything? Like, is there any sort of resentment or blame outside of like the guy?
Nah. To be honest, I never even like thought about that guy like that often after.
Really?
Because I just throughout my life, I've always like kind of always try to find the positive in things. You know? Like I've been through, even if I hadn't gotten shot and like paralyzed and all that, like my life story would still be hella crazy, you know? Like this is just one more thing. So I don't know. I just like I've always like they were worried about me in the hospital because I was joking around so much. Like they make you talk to like a psychiatrist and a psychologist and all that.
They probably thought you were like the Joker. Like,
No,
dude,
they were worried that I was gonna that I was cool right now. They were like, we don't want you to be cool right now and then go home and like crash and like, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
So what were they trying to like force this realization on you a lot?
Yeah, they just kind of like, if you have questions, if you want to know, you know, like that kind of thing. They just talk to you. How are you feeling? You know, like how are you feeling like about like, you know, like have you felt suicide? That type thing. You know, they just, and I was like, nah, man, like I'm good. Like my girl like was visiting me all the time, like you know, like and then I had just people in general, like family and friends visiting me like that whole month. So it was cool, you know. It just sucked just being laying down the whole time and not being able to take a bath.
Yeah. At what point did they give you a chair?
Till I got to the rehab center, like a month.
Oh, so you were
Not even then. Like they sized me for a chair, and then they gave you like a hospital chair.
right.
Those big ass,
Big like bluish gray
the ones
ones.
that open up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were fucking bedridden for a month.
That shit sucks. It was for such a long time, and I didn't get up. That when I started trying to sit up, I would black out.
Wow.
Yeah, my blood pressure would just go down,
just completely drop.
So I would literally black, and then you just pass out.
Oh shit.
And so it took me like a few days, like 3 or 4 days of just trying to like sit up
Damn,
first.
so you were just getting knocked out one after the other that month,
bro,
dude.
she's crazy. It was a crazy.
How many times do you think you went out, including when the dude pistol whipped you?
Maybe like 5 or 6 times.
Damn.
Like, I blacked like
Just sit up and they didn't have the mechanical ones, like
yeah, I had those, but even with that, I would sit up and I would be cool. But as soon as I would like
Posture
sit up to
yourself.
try to be on a chair,
yeah. That's so funny.
passed out. Yeah.
So what were your hospital activities? What kept you busy when you didn't have people around?
I listened to a lot of music, and then I just like checks it. Like the internet wasn't. I mean, it was kind of. It wasn't that like
Yeah,
not
social
advanced,
media
but, like,
just
it was
wasn't
just started
as-
like like YouTube had just kind of started.
There was
So-
Facebook, MySpace, and that was it.
Yeah, and
Friendster, if you're a dork.
yeah, so I would just like do a little bit of like try to find shit on that, and then just I would honestly like I listened to a lot of music, a lot of Tupac. I was relating hella to Tupac in
Oh,
the
yeah?
bed, like only God could judge me. That like he has a verse where he's like sitting here, body full of bullet holes, naked, something. Yeah, he has, and I was just like,
I'm not familiar with that one.
I honestly. The first few days after I had the thought of, man, I wish he would have just killed me.
Really?
Yeah, like the first few days I was like, damn, like fuck off. I had that thought, so I was like hella relating to that, where I was like, because he says in the verse like, should have finished the job. He said something like that, like you should have, like, and I was like, hell yeah, I kind of feel like that. Like I wish he would have just like shut it down, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you? Like when you have that realization, like, damn, I really wishing that
Like I don't know what switched it, but it was just like the first. I don't know. I guess it's just like your body, just like damn, you went through some shit, bro. Like I'm guessing because like I don't remember feeling like yeah, I'm gonna kill myself or anything. I just remember thinking like damn, I wish he would have just really got me, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling.
And that only lasted for a few days?
for a few days, yeah.
That's good.
After I started getting like better,
Yeah.
like yeah, or like
Was there
more
anything that
stable.
happened that like made you turn around and be like all joyful and nice with the staff and all that shit?
Nah, like I would just like, I think I just understood like it happened. Like there's nothing I can do about
Nothing
it.
you
You
can
know,
do
there's no
about it.
point in being mad at anybody or trying to take it out on anybody else. Like I remember even having the thought of like I should just break with my girl too. Like fuck, you know,
Yeah.
like we were young, you know. So I remember having that thought through. Like I should just let her do her thing and just I'll deal with this shit.
Yeah. Like a leave me behind type shit?
You want to hear something crazy? I just
course.
remember, bro, a month before I got shot, I remember hearing a story about some dude that had thrown like acid into his girl's face. Like she was like a model or something.
Uh-huh.
Threw acid in her face, fucked her shit up, bro. And I remember like asking her like, yo, like you think, if something ever happened to me, you think you'd stay with me? And then she was like, yeah, I think I would stay with you.
And she did.
Month later, bro. I remember the first
You really are a premonition machine.
That was another thing. You see, so I remember her walking into the hospital and then
And she wasn't at the party, huh?
she wasn't at the party.
What was she doing that night?
She was just home.
Damn.
There's another crazy story kind of attached to that too. So when she walked into the hospital room the first time, I remember having the thought like I was just talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the crazy thing is like so like I wasn't a player throughout my life. Like I would always get into like these relationships, like 1-2 year long relationships, and I wouldn't really like cheat.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just assumed that I was out here just fucking around, you know?
Sure.
But I was always getting into these relationships. But what I would do is once I started getting kind of like tired of it, I would kind of like start looking for the next person.
You're a serial dater.
Yeah. So I remember when I met her, I was like talking to like 3 or 4 other girls, like messing around with them. And then when I met her, like, I don't know, I just had this weird feeling. I was like, I'm just going to start talking to all these chicks and just focus on this chick and like really like, see what happens with this. It was weird. It's like, so like 2 or 3 weeks before I got shot, one of my ex-girlfriends that we had ended on weird terms on her side started looking for me. She started hitting up my job, like trying to look for me, like trying to hang out. And then like so one day I was at work and she called, and then we just started talking, and she was like, I think we saw each other. We just like for a little bit, like we met up, and just like talked for a little bit. And then the night that I got shot, she had invited me to a party. And then I didn't go because I knew that I would have cheated on my girl with her.
Yeah.
I would have fucked that night. So I was like, I'm not going to go to
It
this
would have.
party.
Damn.
Yeah.
You went from being able to fuck that night to never fucking again.
I mean, I still fuck. Like, I still fuck, yeah. Like, but, I mean, I can't feel it, but I can still,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The doctor didn't, he was a brain doctor. Like, he didn't know everything, like, yeah.
Oh, what a relief.
Yeah. Like,
I've been tense ever since you told me that. I'm like, holy shit, how do I
well,
ask
I mean,
this?
I haven't busted a nut in 16 years. That's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother avenue.
Like, yeah, it's like.
But does that shit bother you at all? Like the coulda, woulda, shouldas, the different.
Bro, obviously, like I think, so. I always thought I had game before I got shot. I always thought I have game, bro. I've had all these chicks around me, since I was like 13 maybe. And then and whenever I would go anywhere, it didn't matter where, the mall, a park, anywhere, like women would always just be like, "What's up with you, bro?" So I was used to that. So after my injury, it's like I'm invisible. Like literally, like I would go to malls and just girls would like smile at me and nothing,
And then
bro.
look
Now,
away.
Yeah, no, like before my injury, they'd be like, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
After, like, it was like I was invisible. That was one of the biggest adjustments. That was that mental adjustment of, like, being able to essentially.
Is it like your self-awareness, like how people perceive you? Like you had to adjust to that?
Yeah, like when people say looks don't matter, you full of shit, man. I had that was probably the biggest mental adjustment I had to make, going from always kind of getting attention to like now I still get attention, but it's like different.
Yeah.
And then like women too, they're still like whatever, but it's not the same, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I've had all those thoughts of like, and I was really good at sports, so I have
What'd
the
you
thoughts
play?
of like basketball and football, and I was getting into like MMA. And,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, and then yeah, like obviously with relationship and women, I'm like, bro, just imagine how many chicks I've missed out on that.
Yeah.
Those shit, I'm a guy, you know, that shit's crossed my mind. I'm like,
Man, if there's one regret, it's all the pussy I'm not getting these
yeah,
days.
bro. I'm like, yeah. Because, like, dude, when you do comedy, you see a shitload of open mics. You see a lot of dudes complaining, like, from not getting laid from high school and shit. They're still mad about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I can't relate, bro. I was out here. Bro, I was really good at sports, but I was never able to play because I was always just
With
not
chicks.
fucking instead of being in practice. So they
Damn.
wouldn't let me play.
Maybe God was like, Daniel, you need to fucking relax. You need to pump the brakes.
I had 2 kids
On
by
your
that time.
fucking-
I already had 2 kids at that point. Bro, I would
By
have probably...
21?
Yeah,
I didn't even know you had kids.
I probably would have had fucking 6 or 7 kids by now if I hadn't got shot.
How many kids do you have?
2. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old that's about to be 15.
I had no idea you even had kids.
Well, they live up north with their mom, so they're
Okay.
when they come, I bring them out like in the summer and they stay for like a week or 2. Like I've taken them to shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I did
Yeah,
not
I
know
have
that.
jokes about it. You never heard the joke where I'm like, I didn't when I started doing stand up, I didn't tell anybody, just in case I suck. Like nobody has to know.
Yeah. So you
And
never
then
has to get back to your kids?
Yeah, so I was telling my daughter that I started doing stand up, and she was like, "How you can't even stand?"
Oh, maybe I have heard
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Maybe I have heard that.
yeah, I have that joke. But yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So, are you still with the girl? You're not with the chick that you
we
were
were
with?
like had broken up. While she was pregnant, honestly. Like
no, not the kid who's your kid's mom. Well, the chick that you were with.
We got married and we were together for like 8 years, and then we split up.
Was she the girl that was with you when you got shot?
Mhm.
Oh, same girl.
Yeah. She was a real one, bro. She stick around.
So your baby mama is the girl
Is-
that was with you.
No, my baby mama, like we weren't together. The girl that I ended up marrying, that was with me when I got shot, is different than my baby mama.
Oh, the girl that you were with then you ended up marrying.
Yeah.
Damn, you're a fucking player. There's a whole fucking algorithm happening here with all
Hey.
these chicks and babies in the equation now. No. So you were married to that chick for 8 years.
Yeah. Oh no, we were married. We were together for 8 years, married for like 5 or 6.
Ah.
Yeah.
Damn, so she really stuck it out.
She was a real one. She
That's
is a
what's
real
up.
one. Yeah.
You guys still close?
Yeah. I mean, we're not like super close, but we still talk and we check in from time
Yeah.
to time, and like we still have a cool.
That's great.
We just grew apart, you know, and we both kind of acknowledged that, and so we were just kind of like, we should. You know?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, she was young, so I was like, maybe you should just experience life outside of
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How old were you when you split up?
I was like 27, 28.
Mm.
Was
It's about 10 years ago?
I think.
Just about?
Might have been a little old. Like
Yeah.
time, bro. Those 10 years after, it was so crazy and mixed
Yeah.
up that it's just sometimes I lose. Like, yeah, it's weird.
For sure. So you start to have the realization of like what your life is going to be. You said a month after, right? What sort of there's the obvious like adaptations you have to make in your life. What other what type of shit did you have to change in your life that you didn't expect? Like, what is the thing that nobody knows about the life of somebody?
So there's actually a few things. So the hardest ones is like, so in the hospital, like I can't move or feel from my chest down, right? So it's weird. I get something called autonomic dysreflexia, and what they think it is like my body's adaptation to our flight or fight response. So I can feel like when I need to pee, but not like you feel. My blood pressure starts going up. So I start getting like a little headache. So I have
wow.
I do something called like catheterization, where I stick like a tube into my dick and like stick it in, and that's how I pee. Like it goes into a bag.
Yeah, colostomy bag.
No, it's not a colostomy. That's when you have like, that's for your like stomach.
Kidney. Oh, okay.
That's for like that's like
Shit.
on your stomach. Yeah. No, this is I stick it. It's like a tube that you stick in your dick so that it goes into your bladder and you empty out your bladder.
Gotcha.
So obviously, when they tell me, "Oh, you're gonna have to stick this in your dick to piss," I was like, "What the fuck? That's fucked up." And then, you like taking a shit. Like it's same thing. I can kind of like feel, but I'm like I can't control it. So if you get the shits, or you probably gonna shit yourself.
Damn.
So we do something called the bowel program, where you kind of try to like go to the bathroom around the same time, so that your body kind of gets
Your body
used to it.
acclimates to it.
So like me, it's weird. Like sometimes I shave my head. So sometimes when I shave, it's almost like my body's sit like, all right, this motherfucker's about to take a shit right now. It's weird.
Why shaving?
I don't know. I like it because I usually shave, take a shit, and then shower.
So when you start
Like it's
shaving,
almost like my
your
body's like,
body-
all right, he's about to take a shit, bro.
Damn, that's incredible.
Yeah. So obviously that, and then the first month, like I was basically just while I was in the hospital, I was basically just shitting myself, and they would clean me. I didn't know like you can kind of control the situation. You can kind of like get on a bowel program. So I had to learn all that at the rehab center.
Okay.
Obviously, that's a big ass adjustment. Not feeling your dick, obviously. That's a whole.
What about with that also comes certain dietary restrictions? Do they do anything like that?
Not I think because of my my fast metabolism, I was eating crazy.
Did they give you any sort of advice for that though?
They would just like try to eat healthier, and then try to drink more. That's water. I was always dehydrated before my injury. That's one of the things I realized.
Okay.
That I actively try to drink more water.
Nice.
But I had to make the change like a few years ago, because I was eating fast food. I was wilding out up to like a few years ago. But then because I did it so much, my whole digestive system kind of like slowed down and almost kind of stopped. So I didn't go to the bathroom for like a week, I think. And then I went to the hospital, and they were like, "Yeah, bro, your whole system is like stopped. Like you have too much like fatty stuff in your system." So they put me like on a like liquid diet for a week, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to probably change." So after that, I started doing smoothies every morning. I just drink a smoothie instead of eating breakfast, and then I'll eat but I do try to actively eat healthier.
Cause dude, you're a pretty fit guy.
I've always been skinny. Yeah,
but fit looking. If it was me, I feel like I would be a gelatinous blob. Like if if you're left to a sedentary lifestyle, essentially, and then my diet, I would just gain weight.
Yeah, a big majority of people gain weight because you can't the only weight I have is kind of in my stomach, because so I can't. It's hard to work out these muscles because I can't, But yeah, I've just gotten luck. I joke around and I say that I have the perfect body for a spinal cord injury, because I'm skinny. I have long arms. I was really athletic. I have really good hand-eye coordination. So I make things look really easy, whereas some people that have my same level injury, it'll take them a little bit. I've had arguments with dudes that were like, "You're not complete, bro. You can just jump in your car all easy and shit." And because it takes them a few minutes to get into, and I just fucking jump in my car quick,
Yeah.
So I just joke around and I say my body was built for it.
So people are talking shit to you, being like, you're not completely paralyzed?
Yeah, other chair homies.
Is there beef in the community?
Nah, we just joke around. I have a really small
other
chair.
chair homies.
Yeah, I have a really small chair, so they're always like, "You in your baby chair, bro, your little kindergarten chair." I'm like, haters.
These are other cholos?
Nah, just other. I have a big group of wheelchair friends.
Do you do shit like that? You join a community, or does it?
Yeah,
does this happen naturally?
Because of the rehab center, they connect you to things, and I'm you need to be around people that can relate, you can relate to, and that they know what you're going through. That helps. And I fucked up, and just for a long time, I'm not gonna be a part of that group. I'm just gonna do my own thing. So for years, for almost 10 years, I was just doing my own thing. Just like not being connected to the chair community, just going to my doctor's appointments when I needed to. I didn't even go to like rehab. Like I didn't even go to like physical rehab. I was like, fuck it.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was just doing my own thing, man. I fucked up though because I went online and I started reading about a spinal cord injury, and they would say stuff like, oh, like in 5 years there'll be a cure. So I was like,
yeah, you still hear shit like that all the time.
bro, that's the thing. Like, so I was like, man, I could wait 5 years. So I was like, I was just playing PlayStation and fucking playing on full tilt, fucking gambling and shit for years. I was like, I'll wait it out. Bro, they've been saying that for like 25 years.
That's like the plot of a bunch of different movies too. Is like, they come up with some advanced technology that's going to be able to fuse this, and that together, and then science takes over, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's like a trope. It's like a,
Yeah. So at some point,
I hope it does eventually.
Obviously, yeah. Like they can bridge the injury or actually repair the nerves.
Sure.
Sometimes. Yeah.
But it's not something that you can keep holding on to.
Nah. Yeah. At some point, I don't know when it was specifically, but there was just a point where I was just like, I can't keep doing this. I gotta like start doing something with my life. So I started like painting, and I started trying to do like gaming online, but I just always had cheap ass equipment. So that shit was all laggy and shitty, and I just I didn't have the income to like have all nice shit.
Yeah.
So I was just like bullshitting for like 5 years, and then at some point, I think after the combination, I think of like breaking up with my long-term like wife at that point, and then just not having anything. I think I just had the realization of like, I need to do something with my life. I can't wait this shit out. Like, what if nothing ever happens?
Right.
So I need to like start living my life. Cause I feel like I just paused my life. I was like, I'll just chill with my girl, fuck around.
Yeah.
Play PlayStation and just wait it out.
Kind of just like lean back and like you rest on your laurels. Like, this is the situation. I bet you a lot of people have to go through that though before they have that realization of like, all right, well, this can't be as good as it gets. I know I'm in this situation and I've come to terms with the fact that this is what it is, but you need to.
Yeah.
I think you got to go through that. I would assume.
Yeah. Every person that I've met that's in a chair has their point. Like some of them took them 6 months, some of them 10 years. Like everybody's different when you just really make that like, this is my life.
So what'd you decide to do?
I was always creative. So I was like, what can I do, with that? So I started painting. I started painting a lot, and I started. I was like watching YouTube. I was like, I think I could do something with video. Like I feel like I'm like interesting, and like the things that I'm going through is like interesting. And there wasn't a lot of stuff on spinal cord injuries on YouTube, especially early. Now you can find a lot more stuff, but back then there wasn't a lot of like people talking about their injury or like. So I was like, maybe I could do that. But like I said, I was like, I was always like procrastinating on doing anything about it until I was like, I need to get better at communicating in general. So then I got the idea of doing a podcast, and I started doing that too. And then through the pandemic, I was like, I don't know how, but I had the realization in the pandemic that I've always kind of been an entertainer, but I was just too scared to entertain. And I was like, fuck that. I'm just trying to stand up.
Oh, you started in the pandemic?
Right after.
Oh, nice.
Right after, yeah.
Damn. When did you start like going back to work?
I never went back to work.
No?
I was working for U-Haul when I got shot. Like I didn't even let them know I got shot.
You just never showed back up?
I mean, my coworkers knew, because they were like looking for me. They called me. My sister was like, "Oh, he's in the hospital. He got shot." They were like, "Shut the fuck up."
No way.
So they went to visit me, and
you never told your bosses
Nah,
though?
bro, I didn't give a fuck. Bro, I was running an illegal fight club at U-Haul.
No way. What the fuck?
We would get boxing gloves and just fucking throw hands, bro.
You were fighting in it?
Yeah,
and you guys were running money and shit?
Nah, not running money, but we were just fighting
scrapping.
for the fun of it. Yeah,
That's funny.
We were throwing hands, bro.
That is funny.
I wish we had videos of that shit.
Dude, that could have been your lucrative fucking.
Yeah.
Are you making money off YouTube and podcasting?
Not yet. No, I just I haven't taken it seriously enough and haven't been consistent enough with it. That
hey, we all are.
Yeah, I have 30 videos. I'm on my 29th video on my podcast. Right?
Nice. Yeah. So you said you did your own thing. So there was no there was no like you didn't want to get into like wheelchair sports or any of that shit. 'Cause,
Nah.
like, dude, I was watching you know that movie, Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Good movie.
Great movie.
Despite what I'm about to say, it fucking slaps. But there was like this really stupid moment at the very end where, you know, the dude gets hit by the car.
Mhm.
And while he's still in the hospital, he looks up and he goes, I was doing some research. They got Olympics. And it's like this big triumphant moment. And I was like, dude, there's no way that shit happened that way.
Yeah.
That's the goofiest line I've ever. They got Olympics. But so there was no, like, nothing that you were like, let me get into that. There was no, like,
Nah, I didn't have like I was like
cholos
nah,
for cholos in wheelchairs.
nothing, bro. I was like, I'm not gonna be a part of this community, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's not me.
Okay.
I kind of had that mentality a little bit.
When you did, like, become a part of the community, what sort of shit did you get into with those guys?
Trying sports. Like I went on trips. I went skiing.
No shit.
I jumped into a pool for the first time. Like learned how to go downstairs. Like all kind of shit. And then obviously like the emotional support of like people understanding what I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
And then once I was like, why the fuck
Why was I
did I
pushing
not
this
do
shit
this shit
off?
way earlier? Yeah.
Yeah. It helped you that much.
Yeah.
That's gotta be, I mean, that's a hard thing to come to a realization with, especially if you have in the back of your mind, you know, oh, my cousin started feeling after a month. All these movies are telling me that the spinal cord injury, like you're waiting for this thing to come. So it's easy to put that type of shit off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to be like, you know, I'm one of those people. Did you have that? Like, I'm not those fucking people.
A little bit. That was the attitude that I kind of had where like I'm not a part of that. 'Cause I'm like, this is not gonna be permanent for me. You know,
Right.
I had a little bit of that.
Damn.
So it took me a little bit, but if I could give any advice to anybody that might see this that might have a new injury, is like find people that you can like be around and like now we'll do like barbecues that are like just my chair friends will barbecue or like we'll just go, you know, like catch a game, catch a movie, something, just being around other people.
How often do you hang out with those guys?
Not as often as we should. We had a talk where we were like, we should just try to do this at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you know, a few months pass, but we still kind of stay in touch and we like.
Has anybody from your community had any kind of recovery?
Not anything
Nobody?
like significant. Nah. Yeah. People usually get like, and they're incomplete. They're complete injuries and incomplete injury. And if you have an incomplete injury, some people can kind of move a little bit. Yeah. They can feel a little bit. Everybody's different. So some people get a little bit back. Like they might be able to feel a little lower down, but it's
Is it the type of thing like you guys have like a group thread like where somebody will text and be like, yo, I felt my knee today.
Once in a while, there's like big
somebody
like
sends
Facebook
back a
threads.
text with like the fireworks.
Yeah. No, but it's like it's nothing. It's so far in between that it's nothing that was like. Yeah, there's like random threads like on Facebook and stuff where it's like chair people and they'll have like those. You know, I'm 6 months in and I started feeling my leg or stuff like that. That does happen, but
And you're like, you bitch.
Faker.
You're not complete.
Yeah, we joke around like that. Like some guys that are incomplete that can walk a little bit, but it's just their body just is so weak from not having the full connection that they'll walk for like a block and then they have to sit down again. So we're like, you fucking faker.
Yeah. So where do you feel like you're at in you know, I hate to call it, be gay about it and call it a journey, but like in this, are you leveled out? Do you have anything else that like other things that you want to like do with the community, do with the situation? Or are you just like, I mean,
I'm kind of like, I've accepted it.
Sure.
It's just part of who I am. And I'm just trying to build the best life I can build. Like I'm trying to not let it stop whether it comes to stand up or anything else I'm doing. I'm like, if there's stairs, it's not stopping me. You know, I'm just trying to like.
Trust me, I know. I've carried you up the stairs at third row.
Yeah, good looking.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Just
living life, man.
There you go.
Living life.
Hell yeah. Any other parting messages to anybody that you want to get out?
Just live your life, man. Like everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
Like some people you can see it, some people you can't. Just live your life, and enjoy your friends and your family, and just like don't take things for granted. Like you'd be surprised how many things we take.
What's
for
the
granted.
one thing you miss most?
I was really athletic. I'm 5'8" and I could dunk. So I miss.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I miss. Sports is one of the big sports. Dancing. Fucking obviously. But I would say those are like the main three. Just
Yeah.
being active.
Sports, dancing, and fucking.
Yep.
That's the life of a Latin man right there. 100% just wrapped up in one, and you really lost your heritage. Where can people find you?
I'm on most of my social media is D Alvarez TV. I have a podcast called the Paralyzed Artist Podcast, and or at clubs in the LA area if you're into comedy.
Is there any dates you want to plug that are coming up?
I have a show on the 22nd. It's called the Short Bus Revolt.
Poncho Moeller show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, this will come out in time for that.
It will?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I have that, and hopefully I get more spots at the Spanglish show at the Laugh Factory. That I get like a guest list so I could get just people in for free. So looking forward to another one of those.
Hell yeah. Hit him up. Guest list for Spanglish at the Laugh Factory. Guys, that's Daniel Alvarez. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
Peace out, everybody.
We out.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Lend me your ears.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. The show's artwork done by the amazing Clay Morrell and the theme song by the one and only B Wood.